Tato Brahma Jigyasa, inquire into the absolute. What is that absolute? Spirit. I am of that spiritual source of all existence. I am part and parcel of that. Therefore, I am not bound by matter and the harm and the transformations that matter goes through does not actually touch or affect the soul. It is merely attachment to the body, gross and subtle, that causes the soul to feel the distress caused by the duality of material life. Therefore, we try to become fixed in the nature of the soul, and in that dharma, following that transcendental dharma, eternal path, we exercise our constitutional dharma, our constitutional service, duty. Sri Krishna teaches, Sukha duke same kritva labha labhao jayo jayo tato yudhaya yujjasva naivang papam avapsyasi. O Arjuna, you should fight. Follow your dharma. Do not give up. Do not retreat from the battlefield of life. Face the difficulties that come to you. But you should not be attached to the results of your activities. In this way, you can become free from the lamentation that occurs when you suffer losses in life. Sukha dukkhe same, thinking that happiness and distress are equal. Labh labhao, gain or loss are equal. Victory and defeat are equal. It is your duty to follow your dharma. Without being disturbed, what result comes? That is in God's hands. Do your best. Try your best. Try to do your service. Try to follow your dharma. And at the same time, understand that ultimately you are not the ultimate doer. Krishna says in the next chapter, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. The person who is bewildered by the false ego considers himself to be the agent, the doer, when in reality everything is going on merely by the force of the material qualities, goodness, passion, and ignorance. These three qualities of nature are always fighting for supremacy in this existence. Therefore, as much as we can be in the qualities of goodness, the qualities of goodness will affect us, cause us to act in certain ways. As much as we are in the qualities of passion, the result of that will come to us. As much as we are in the qualities of ignorance, the result of that will come to us. This is also based on our karma, our fruit of reactions. Therefore, our scope for independent doer mentality, our doer mentality needs to change. Then we can do our duty without being attached to the results. Krishna says, Karta hamiti manyate. Those who think, I am the doer, I am doing everything. Everything is possible by my strength alone. This is illusion. Actually, everything is going on either by the higher potency of the Lord or the lower potency of the Lord. Yoga Maya or Mahamaya. Everything in this world is going on by her Shakti, her energy, her power. And we are merely actually expansions of that energetic field of Sri Krishna's potency, meant to serve his will. But when we are under the influence of Mahamaya in samsara, we are bound to the laws of samsara, birth, death, going throughout this cycle of transmigration. When we come under the shelter of the higher potency of the Lord, Yoga Maya, then the qualities of that also come to us. Eternal existence, happiness, bliss. So really what we are trying to do is level up energetically by taking shelter of the higher potency of the Lord. Dhaivi esha gunamai mama maya dhurataya mameva ye prapadyante mayametam tarantite. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, it is very difficult to cross over my material energy. Only those who come under my shelter can achieve the position of being in the shelter of the higher potency, Yogamaya. And then they will no longer suffer the pangs of the duality of material existence. Therefore, we want to try to elevate our consciousness. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, our seventh Goswami, he states that consciousness goes through various stages of evolution. From a dormant stage, to a budding stage, to a blossoming stage, to a fully blossomed stage. Fully blossomed consciousness means eternally being situated in the shelter of the divine potency of the Lord. Then Maya, or the lower energy, no longer touches us, and we will no longer have to suffer in this samsara, material existence. So our process in spiritual life is elevating ourselves through shelter, through mercy, through the descending process of revelation, hearing transcendental sound vibration, letting it cleanse our consciousness, our heart, and then following the process of bhakti yoga under guidance of those eternal associates of the Lord, and then we can progress to His realm. Dhaivi esha gunamai. Then we can go over the three gunas. So we are trying to transcend the three gunas which are causing us to suffer in this world. In the Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, Krishna says the gunas are always fighting. Means goodness, passion, ignorance. They're always in states of competition in this world. This world is based on competition. So what we are trying to do is become nirgun. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna Nirdvando Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. Try to rise up above the three gunas, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Even when you're in so-called goodness, it's like gold shackles. Tamagun, the mode of ignorance, is like iron shackles, imprisoning you in samsara. Rajagun, the mode of passion, they are like silver shackles, imprisoning you in samsara. Sattvagun, the mode of goodness, is like golden shackles. If someone is a prisoner, they may think, oh, I have golden shackles. I'm very aristocratic. All the other prisoners, iron, silver, I am wearing gold. And thus they become more attached to their bondage. Therefore, those even being very elevated, but without nirgun dharma, without following nirgun bhakti, they're still bound within samsara. They will still have to experience the pain and the suffering that is natural in this existence. Therefore, Krishna says, rise above that and follow nirgun dharma. So now we're going forward. We'll go through these verses still, but I want to talk a little bit today about buddhi yoga. Krishna talks, the next section after talking about the soul. This verse I mentioned, Sukha Dukhe Samekritva, is verse 38. So the next verse after that is very important. In 38, Krishna says, if you fight with this kind of equanimity towards loss or gain, Krishna is not saying do not act or do not endeavor. We must act, we must endeavor, we must try. But try not to be at the same time thinking that ultimately it is in your power to affect what you want. Ultimately, it's only possible by higher grace. Our duty is to endeavor and to pray. And when the Lord is merciful, He can bestow all bounty upon us. So Krishna says, if you fight with this idea that I am the soul, the body is acting according to its karma. There is bodily dharma, there is soul dharma. Now I have to act because of my Kshatriya dharma in certain ways. But the Atma Dharma is something deeper, something higher, something more profound. So therefore Krishna is now progressing towards the idea of what is Atma Dharma. What is the dharma of the soul? Not just the body. Before he was saying, you are a Kshatriya, you must fight. To not fight will be the cause of your infamy. Akirtim kadam Arjuna. Anarya justam, you will become infamous. So you should fight, you are a Kshatriya. Why are you becoming weak now? But now after that he's saying there's something more to learn. Atma dharma means the dharma of the soul. The soul is not also the subtle body, the mind, the ego. That is not the soul. We must transcend these coverings. These are coverings that we must go beyond. That's why it said the universe has these layers of coverings, just like the soul has these layers of coverings. And ultimately we want to transcend them and achieve our true spiritual position. That position of the soul is, at that time when we achieve self-realization, the soul has the power of millions of suns. So why are we so lost in the darkness of this world? Because we have not awakened. We have not awakened. When you are asleep, everything is dark. When you wake, you see the light, everything is full of brilliance. So now the soul is sleeping. It is in the dormant consciousness. We want to wake up. Now some people say Kundalini, you can rise the Kundalini energy. But that is not sufficient, because the nature and the desire of the soul is still covered in Naimatika dharma, the temporary covering, the false ego, the mind and intelligence, diverted from our true spiritual identity. Therefore, it's aggravating, it's giving us, it's like if you give a thief more power, he'll just steal more. If you give a murderer weapons of mass destruction, he'll commit more violence. So we can raise the Kundalini, but unless we change the inner idea, the consciousness of the exploitative consciousness, trying to enjoy everything in this world and engage in our own service, until we can change that into the mood of Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma means the mood of constant service. Seva Parama Dharma. Seva is the highest Dharma. We need to understand my essential nature is to be a servant. I should learn to serve. We are bound to serve, but generally in this world we try to serve only for our own benefit. Remuneration, but we should try to serve simply as an offering of devotion. We try to serve Krishna and serve others by giving them true auspiciousness. Jive doya Krishna nam sarva dharmasar. This is the essence of all religion. So now we're going to start reading a few verses about Buddhi Yoga.